So can I go ahead?
Yes, you can. Please click on the slideshow. Make it full screen.
Full screen.
Yes. There's a slideshow at the right hand, at the right top corner. Okay.
Visible enough now. I've done that.
Yeah. Please, you can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is OKACHI. I'm a PHP intern full stack developer. Okay, today we'll be looking at Laravel, a modern PHP framework. So basically, what we'll be doing today is we'll look at what is Laravel, how to install Laravel, and why we use Laravel. So that is what we'll be looking at today. So this is the topic, Laravel, a modern PHP framework. So the brief history of Laravel framework. So, PHP is a server-side language, and PHP has evolved over time. So Laravel happens to be one of PHP framework used for web development, basically. It's used for web development, basically. And PHP has other frameworks such as CodeIgniter, Symfony, Yi, and Laravel also. So today we'll be looking at Laravel as one of the framework in PHP. The brief history of Laravel framework. How did this Laravel came about? How did this start? The person that created this framework, or the person that developed this framework, is known as Taylor Otwell, and this Laravel was released on 2011 as a personal project. Taylor Otwell released Laravel in 2011 as a personal project. His goal was to improve on CodeIgniter. Just as I said before, PHP has other frameworks like CodeIgniter and Symfony. So this Taylor Otwell was actually working with CodeIgniter. But in 2011, he decided to carry out a personal project. And that personal project, the main goal of that personal project was to improve on CodeIgniter, the one he was using. So he decided to work on it to improve it, which at that time as well as a well-known and widely used framework. He aimed to address some of the limitations he encountered in CodeIgniter and to incorporate modern PHP features and best practices. Just as most of us today, we are using some framework, React, Yi, Next.js, and all of that. At some points, we encounter some challenges and all of that. We look for a way to sort it out. This was actually the same issue that Taylor Otwell faced when he was using CodeIgniter. So he decided to carry out a personal project to improve on it. So that gave birth to Laravel. So the limitations he encountered was actually what he incorporated in his own framework called Laravel, which is a PHP modern day framework we are using today. Release versions of Laravel. Since the creation of Laravel from 2011, Laravel has evolved over time. There are so many versions of Laravel. So Laravel was initially released in June 2011 as an attempt to provide a more advanced alternative to CodeIgniter framework. The first Laravel release is Laravel 1, also known as Laravel Spark. This was the first version of Laravel release. Now, it was designed for rapid application development. That is the first Laravel developed, which is Laravel Spark. So since then, we have up to like Laravel 11 currently. Other versions of Laravel release are as follows. We have Laravel 1, 2, 3 to the latest version, Laravel 11. I think Laravel 11 now, currently, I don't think it's the latest version. There is another version again that is currently on now. So this is to tell how this Laravel has evolved over time. So Laravel has come a long way since its initial release in 2011. It has continued to evolve and add new features, making it making it a popular choice for web application development using PHP. Today, if we have 100% users of PHP that develop websites using PHP, I can tell you categorically that more than half uses Laravel framework. More than half uses Laravel framework for their job. More than half of PHP developers uses Laravel as their choice of framework for web development. Now, it was actively developed and supported with new versions and features being released regularly. Now, since from Laravel 1, each each um, each version comes with a new feature. Each version comes with a new feature up to this Laravel 11, and this has actually made Laravel to be a very good and sound framework for web development. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that a Laravel developer can do using the Laravel framework. Meet Laravel. Laravel is a web application framework with expressive, elegant syntax. Why do we use Laravel? Why do we use Laravel? We said elegant syntax. Laravel offers a clean, readable, and expressive syntax that makes coding more enjoyable and less error-prone. For example, fetch all users from the database. Now, if I want to fetch all users from the database, because that is mostly what we do as back-end developers, and if I want to fetch out the list of users I have in my system, now with this simple piece of code here, in my controller can actually do that for me. With this, to tell you how elegant Laravel syntax is, with this simple code here, the variable name, the model, then all, that is it. With this, I can retrieve all the users I have in my system to tell you how simple Laravel is and how elegant the syntax is. So the architecture, Laravel makes use of MVC architecture. Laravel follows the model view controller MVC architectural pattern, which helps in organizing, separating the business logic, user interface, and data. And one of the best development architecture out there is MVC, model view controller, right? That is one of the best architecture so far used in web development. So Laravel also used this architecture. Now in Laravel, we have the controller, we have the view, and we have the model. So the controller, the view, and the model. That is how Laravel works. Now this image here illustrates how Laravel framework works. The architecture of Laravel framework. This is the model, the view, and the controller. So this is the architecture of Laravel framework. Now Laravel also has what we call blade templating engine. The Laravel blade templating engine allows developers to use plain PHP code in their views and provide powerful tools like template inheritance and session to build dynamic content easily. Now, with this blade templating engine, we can write our raw PHP code inside our Laravel in the view session without having to put your PHP opening and closing tag. You can actually write your PHP code inside your view using the templating engine. Using Laravel templating engine, Laravel gives us this option to do this, to tell you how easy and flexible the framework is. It incorporates pure PHP code in your view. Now, this is an example of how the Laravel blade looks like for the view. This is just an example of how it looks like. At extent, this is a folder created This is a folder created. In our project, you can create your layout. This is the name of the file. At session, we will pass this in the view. Then this is just an example of writing your PHP code inside your Laravel blade. So this code here is retrieving the current year and date. That is what this code is doing. Also, we can use to get the current date inside our view. We can just simply do this using a Laravel templating engine to get this code here. Oh, sorry for that. So this is how the Laravel view looks like. This is how the Laravel view looks like. This is the session. We end our session. Every other thing comes inside the session. Here we are extending to our layout, the layout of our project, how we want our project to look like. Now the layout contains the header, the footer, and the main content. And this is the main content. So to render our main content, we use session. We use at session, then pass in content. And inside our view, inside our layout, inside the app.play.php, we will have content also inside it. So it's that content that we are passing in here. So Laravel has what we call artisan command line interface. Artisan command line interface. Now, artisan is a Laravel built-in command line tool that provides a number of helpful commands for common tasks, such as database migration, controller making, seeding, and scaffolding code, who speed up development. Now, if I want to create my controller, because we said that Laravel makes use of MVC, model V controller, right? So if I want to create my controller, there is no need of me creating my controller manually. I can use my artisan command to create my controller. Just using my artisan command, it will create my controller for me. I can do PHP artisan, make the name of the controller. That is just it, and it will create the controller for me and add every other thing that I need for the controller. We use it for database migration. If I want to migrate my database to the database, I will make use of my artisan command, making it easier for me. Like, I don't have to export my database. Maybe if I'm working on a project, I have the database set up already. I have everything in my migration. All I have to do is for you to run the same command, PHP artisan migrate. It will migrate to your own database instead of me exporting my database from my local machine, then export and send to you. Then you have to import it to your own database before you can work. Just clone the project and migrate everything. Go to your own database. That is what the artisan command helps us to do. Laravel has community and ecosystem. Laravel has a large and active community, which means extensive documentation, tutorials, forums, and packages are available to help developers. Laravel has a very large ecosystem. Laravel has a very large ecosystem. Now, if you go on YouTube, there are tons of Laravel tutorials there that one can actually go through and learn Laravel. Or maybe you're working in a particular stuff and you're having challenges. Just go online. The solutions are there. Like, the community is so active that there is no problem that you encounter at the cost of working on a Laravel project that you will not see a solution online. There are tutorials, forums like Laracast. There are so many of them out there that will help a developer to implement whatever thing you want to implement, or to sort out any issues you have in your Laravel project. There are a lot of community. Because PHP itself has a very large ecosystem. PHP itself has a very large ecosystem, and same thing for Laravel, which is the framework. Now, the installation and setup. the installation and setup of Laravel. Before creating your first Laravel project, we need to have some certain things in our PC. Just we have to make sure that our PC has PHP and the Composer installed. You must have PHP and Composer installed in your system before you can set up your Laravel project. Now, after you have installed your PHP and your Composer, you can now create your new Laravel project via Composer. And this is via Composer, create command, create project command. Now, this is the command, Composer, create project, Laravel/Laravel. This example app is the name of your app. With this Composer command, you can create your Laravel project. So this is how you create your Laravel project. Use Composer, create project, Laravel/Laravel example app. So this example app can be the name of your project. Now, after creating your project, the next thing is to serve your project for you to see how your project looks like. So to do that, we'll make use of our artisan command. Remember, we said that Laravel makes use of artisan command to speed up its development process. It makes use of artisan command, ranging from creating of controller, model, views, and all of that. It makes use of artisan command. So for you to serve your project, all you have to do is to run this command, this simple command here, PHP artisan serve. This will serve your project on your local machine. If you're working on your local machine, this will automatically serve your project on the available port. Okay, the artisan command will serve your project on port 8000. And this is the port.
Hi, OKACHI.
Hello?
Please, can you turn on your camera? How many more slides do you have?
Okay, I think I'm almost done with the slide.
All right, so please turn on your camera. Your camera is supposed to be on.
Okay, I'm sorry for that.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So after running the command PHP artisan serve, the artisan command will serve your project on port 8000 if port 8000 is available. And this is how you access it when you're working offline. With this, you can access your new Laravel project that you've just created. That is all. Thank you. So
Right.
let me quickly share this in my project for us to see how the Laravel this thing looks like.
Okay, OKACHI, please, I'm sorry, you can't do that now. We have another speaker and time is almost it's a little bit into time. So what would happen is that maybe some other time it's not going to be perhaps you have questions too, but I can't ask you the questions. So we'll do that some other time when we don't really have an active facilitator. All right. Please, please, yeah, thank you so much. Please, Sola, can you go ahead?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'll be sharing my screen.